Alright, welcome back to Satisfactory. I am Maker Gaming. So I've been really impressed with the builds in Season 2 of Sandman. So I wanted to attempt to make this tunnel that Dream has in his palace. But there's not really any good place to do that. So I decided let's just start building underground. We found this little glitch, this little opening into the underground a few months ago, and I haven't done anything with it, so let's do something with it. Good thing I marked it on the map. Thanks for watching. Alright, so these would be your official coordinates if you're interested in finding this spot. So yeah, we need a designer, and we're going to just start with the same basic arch that I've shown in a few other videos, so we'll cover it quick. Get the beams out for the positions that we want to start in. We're going to need that center point kind of marked off. Then we're going to change build mode to freeform, and we're going to connect to all the edges of the base pillars that we have. Then, very important, we zoop the pillars from the origin point, which is that middle, and then we zoop out, delete the excess, and we're just going to repeat that process all the way around the half circle. It's not exactly even across the whole arch, so what I do is I go the same amount from the top as I do from the side, and then those two overlapping in the middle are overlapping at a slightly different orientation than all the rest of them, which are all perfectly even. And then here I'm just using a lot of the new 1.1 quality of life controls, like doing nudge in a plane different than the XYZ, going off the pillars of the beams. So I'm using control to place these where I want down the pillar, and then using the arrow keys and page up and page down to get them in a place to put this border around, and repeat across. And similarly, we're just using the control button to more finely place these pillars, and it's so much easier now because of H and nudge. In hindsight from the editing, I think it would have been better to have more of a round top, but this is what we did, just straight across. The rest, there's nothing complicated about it, it's all control. Played around with this piece too. It's nice how perfectly it fits with the arch that we made, but ultimately not useful. Alright, that's a good basic shape. Now let's get some lighting on it. We're just going to do square signs. The white blue I think is good for a Sandman type color. And you gotta love the copy paste of lights and signs now. Very useful. Alright, do we want more lights? No. This is good. Alright, so that's our basic shape. Now we just need to make it a tunnel. So we do that by adding depth on either side. We're just going to stick with pillar walls. We don't really care how this looks from the outside. This is all about the inside of the tunnel. Boom. That'll work. Actually, the more I looked at it, the more I decided it needed to be taller, so I just made a blueprint of it so I could place that blueprint, pull it up, and then we can drag down more pillars, make it a little bit taller. And that will be our final product. First I was just going to build a regular floor, and then I was like, you know what, glass would be kind of cool because we could get some effects from the lights, or we can get some effects from the underground, which matches the night sky or the day sky, so we'll get different whites and oranges and then blues and purples at night. So yeah, glass middle, coated concrete, half foundations to the side with some gaps on the sides also. That'll work. And that's it for the design. Now it's all about zooping, collecting resources. It got so bad that after this video is made, now I have a bunch of hypertube networks going from my central storage to this, because I can only get through 3 or 4 of these blueprints before I run out of materials, and that includes my dimensional depot. Oh, and here's an example just how it's looking from underneath with the night sky underneath. I prefer it, I think. And then, if I recall from the videos, in some of the episodes, the very end of the tunnel is a bright white light, so that's easy enough to recreate. Just a bunch of the big signs. Copy the color from the pillars. Yeah, that's it. Final product. I actually want to make this longer, and I think I want to make several corridors down here. Maybe playing with a couple of different design ideas from that. I actually think this should have been shorter. That's kind of why I'm flying through it. Yeah, this was fun. This will get me coming down to the underground more, and hopefully we'll make something cool of it. But that's it. I'm going on vacation. Going to the beach with my family. So hopefully I'm releasing this in the middle of my vacation, so I'm not gone as long as I could be. Thanks for watching.